Good morning from the farmer's garden. I'm one of the farmers. I'm heading out to start some of our just basic everyday chores, feeding the chicks, checking on everybody, that sort of thing. It is Monday, March 18th, and we are looking to get started on planting. We're hoping to use our new water well transplanter today. We'll practice with it a little bit and then hopefully get a video of how it works. The plan for today is to transplant cole crops that we have going in the greenhouse right now. That's always a bit of a nerve-wracking thing, especially when the plants are as big and healthy as they are right now. I'll show you the plants later. They're looking amazing in the greenhouse, and there's always this, we're kind of like parents, like they're safe in the greenhouse, they're safe here, we know they're okay, and we know we have to let them go, we know we have to get them out in the field, that they'll do fine in the field too, but there's this element of safety that we see when they're still in the greenhouse, and so we always get a little bit nervous about, is it the right time, is it not? And we're especially nervous this time because we've had a mild spring. We've had a really mild spring, but it's not Easter yet, and it did thunder in February, so it may frost in April. I'm gonna move away from the noisy chickens for a minute. So they're actually talking about tonight it's gonna get to 32, and it's just supposed to get like 35, 34, 33, 32, and straight back up again. So we're not super worried about any kind of frost or anything like that, but there's the idea that it could happen. And so we may end up using some row cover once we get them out, just kind of to make ourselves feel better. These are all cole crops. They're all things that are supposed to grow in the winter that should do just fine with this. But there's a little bit of shock that comes when you first plant them, and then the shock of the cold from the greenhouse. Just a little bit concerning. But as far as the rest of our schedule, we have a lot of other things, a lot of other projects that we have to get moving on to. And so this is really the best day that we have to get them planted schedule-wise. So we're just going to have to kind of take a chance and go for it. So like I said, I'm going to finish up these chores, checking chickens, that sort of thing. And here in a little bit, we'll get started with planting. We'll practice with it for a few minutes, kind of figure out how it goes, and then we'll get a video of how the new water wheel transplanter works. All right, we've got plants loaded on the trays, and Brandon is about to fill up the tank with water. So Brandon's going to be driving the first time. I'm going to be riding. The wheel there in the center turns and pokes holes in the ground. I was going to show you those and forgot. I'll go back and do that in a minute. And then the water just comes down and kind of adds water to the hole so that the plants have that when they get started. I'm not sure how we'll show you how this works, but we'll try. This is Brandon's little quick test last night. The compaction in this road is really bad, so the holes will be deeper than this in the tilled ground. But basically there's a wheel that spins and has spikes on it, and the spikes are gonna poke through the plastic, make a hole, and then I will be sitting beside with the tray of plants. And so I'm in my little chair, and I'll just reach down, put a plant in the hole, kind of close the dirt, and as he rolls forward, I'll continue to do that. Hopefully, I will be fast enough to keep up. We'll see. I have no idea. We're gonna try this and see. All right, these are the things that have already been in for 5 or 6 weeks now. Can't remember exactly when we put them out. So you can see they're looking fine. Like I say, these are all cold tolerant crops. Anyway, we're just nervous about the transplant shock and then the cold together being a bit of an issue for these new plants. So we have a piece of a row down there to plant, and then we have all of these rows that we fixed up yesterday, and so hopefully we have enough space. We've got about 360 plants each of cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, spinach, and lettuce. 360 each. I don't remember what number I just said. 360 each of cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, spinach, and lettuce. So that space and these spaces, and that's where those will be going out today. Okay, so about 15 minutes of total actual time running the tractor. This got planted, which is faster than we would do this by hand. We are not practiced yet. I should say I am not practiced yet. I'm not fast enough yet. So the kids are going back through and just dropping some dirt on the ones that I didn't get filled in because I can barely get them dropped in fast enough. So that's what they're doing right now. And then we'll keep going. I'm almost done with cauliflower, and then I guess cabbage will be next. When I said there's an element of safety to having the plants in the greenhouse, and I said transplant shock is a concern for us, this is what I mean. All of these plants were standing up big and beautiful in the greenhouse. When we first moved them out, they're almost always going to wilt over like this. So the water wheel planter is putting water into each cup, except for a short space in here where I forgot to turn it on. It is putting water down, so they do immediately get a drink, which is helpful, but we are expecting them to look a little wilted like this. But it's always, it gets me. I'm like, they were safe, they were growing in the greenhouse, and when I put them out and they do this, I always get a little nervous, but then I have to remember this is normal, this is what they do. We've already had somebody ask on Facebook about a video. We're doing our best with video, as you can see. I have tried multiple times to try to get one on the tractor, and it's not working so far. So I will try again. Hopefully we'll get at least a little bit of footage of the thing. We'll see. We will see. All right, we're going to take another load of plants down. I just wanted to show y'all the plants in the greenhouse before they go out. This is what I mean. They're nice, big, tall, straight plants, full plants, healthy plants. And then, of course, you just saw the what they look like after they go out. Again, that's pretty normal. That's pretty typical. It just makes us nervous every time it happens.
So you're counting on me.
Start the water.
All right, so once we're sitting on, we try to get a few out and ready. This is rolling and poking holes. There's water running down through it that is starting each plant with some water in the hole. So we started out just me riding after we got pretty confident with my safety. Gracie has joined me. Gracie and Skeet are taking turns. But what we're doing is we're just putting the plants in the hole, and we're not trying to go slow enough to fill the holes ourselves. This tractor does not have a low enough gear for that, so we would be riding the clutch to do that. So Gracie and Skeet are taking turns riding, and the other one is helping the little girls to fill in these holes as the plants go in. Whoa! And then we have to stop every once in a while and refill, but there it is. All right, roughly 1,800 plants in, including downtimes. It's been probably 4 hours since we started, but that includes lunch break and going back and forth to reload with plants and water breaks and that sort of thing too. So 1,800 plants in significantly less than 4 hours is pretty good. They're looking pitiful. We may lose some. Sometimes we do. The spinach is looking especially sad. But you can see Brandon's already got the sprinkler set up right there. So in just a minute, we'll get that running. It takes a few days to get the drip tape going, so that's why it'll be the sprinkler at first. But also these that went out first this morning are already starting to perk up, and you can see a few of these lettuces in here. They're starting to perk up. There's moisture under those beds. The top is a little drier. You can see that it's a little drier, but down under the beds, under the plastic, there is moisture. And then of course the water wheel is putting out water as well. So there's water down there, and they will perk back up with the sprinkler. Like I say, we may lose a few. We usually do. But these are the ones that went out first this morning, and almost all of them are now standing back up. So that's what we want to see. So there you go. Roughly 1,800 plants out, roughly 4-ish hours of work, and everything is ready for water now. So the main benefit to the water wheel transplanter is the speed, but we can also put water soluble fertilizer in the tanks, and so it'll be putting out fertilizer with the water. We didn't do that today. We just didn't get our act together in time to get the fertilizer here before we started.
there is fertilizer already out in these beds, so they're not going down without anything. We just didn't have it in the tanks today. But that's an improvement on the speed. And by the end, we were getting it down pretty good, and we were also getting the actual planter going on the rows better. So one thing that we fight on this hill is gravity. A lot of our implements tend to swing downhill, and so it'll kind of mess up the spacing, or like we'll get kind of squirrely plastic rows, that sort of thing, because the implement is just kind of dragging downhill with the gravity. Eventually we'll get some of those kinks worked out. Anyways, we still have lots and lots of chores to do today, but the main thing I wanted to show y'all in the video was the water wheel transplanter. So now that that's done, I will end the video. Thank y'all for stopping by the farm today. I hope you enjoyed your visit. Y'all be sure and come back when you can stay longer.